it's Ben Hardy, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the new Ford Bronco. And I know a lot of people have already kind of made videos about it. I obviously made the video about me ordering the first edition Bronco. Super excited for that, but I thought I'd make a little bit more in-depth video before I actually review it, because it seems like this is like, out of all of the vehicles that have been released in the last like year or so, this is one that's just been like the most popular. It's crazy, just like all the popularity behind it. I knew it was going to be a big hit. I just didn't realize it was going to be like this crazy. And sorry if I have to do that a bunch of times. I'm driving up a canyon and I get like ear bubbles like crazy, and hope you guys like the scenery. So, getting into the actual point of the video, at the first part, I'm just going to talk about the Bronco itself and kind of where I think that they did a good job on it. And then obviously where I think that they could, you know, do a little bit in terms of improvement. And then I'm going to compare it against its competition, which is the Jeep Wrangler. And yeah, then we'll kind of see where things go from there. So let's get in the first part. So in the first part, obviously talking about what they did really good with the Bronco. The first thing is going to be the exterior styling on it. I think they absolutely killed it. They got this like really like cool looking like retro styling on the outside, but it still has like enough modern you know, aesthetics on it that it looks really good. So you can tell like obviously the body panels, all that kind of modern, but again, they kind of go for like cool boxy look. The LED lights help a lot on the higher up trim packages to kind of make it look even more modern. And so overall, from like the exterior appearance, just absolutely nailed it. I would say that, you know, out of all of the retro vehicles that have been released recently, I would say it's pretty high up there. I definitely do like the new G-Wagon. I didn't like that, you know, when I saw it in pictures, but seeing it in person, it looks really good. It still looks like a G-Wagon, but it looks a lot more modern compared to the older G-Wagons. When you actually see it in person, it's a good looking car. So, exterior styling, absolutely killed it. Now going to the interior, from what I've seen, it seems like it's, you know, for the segment that it's in, it's really solid. It's not like way up above anything else, but the bigger 12-inch screen, I think that's really cool. And then the seats, I mean, that all looks like pretty nice. It looks like the normal like Ford leather that they use in their higher up packages when they do the leather seats. The cloth seats look normal. So the interior overall, it looks like pretty normal. It's nothing too crazy. I think that most of it is like the exterior styling that was the most important part. The interior is just like nice, modern. It's not like anything crazy. It's not anything that I would just consider like, hey, wow, that is really cool. I mean, it's good. It's just, I don't know, it's right in the middle, which is fine. That's completely fine. I'm glad that they spent more time making the outside look really cool and really retro. And then they'll get to obviously the off-road capability. The first thing that they did that is just phenomenal, and this is the thing that I want to mention the most, is the fact that you can get locking differential in different trim packages, and you can get disconnects on different packages. Like, it's so cool that they add all this off-road tech, and it's not just on one package like what Jeep does. Jeep says, hey, if you want that, you got to get a Rubicon. Whereas Ford's like, hey, if you want that, we've got multiple packages where we'll offer it. And so I think that that was just really solid on Ford's part, and it definitely is a huge plus for the Bronco. And then getting into the last plus for the Bronco is actually going to be part of the performance. So a big gripe with a lot of people with Wranglers is the power. Now when you're off-roading, you don't necessarily need a ton of power, but a lot of people that buy these off-road SUVs and trucks, they want to daily drive them. Okay, and even though 285 horsepower that the Wrangler comes with the V6 is great for the off-road, it's not good on road when the vehicle weighs over 5,000 pounds. So the fact that they gave you a more premium engine option with the Bronco, that you can have some decent power that's actually going to be pretty good on road, is super awesome. And so you can kind of see, as like a total picture, they've just absolutely killed it. They've got really solid exterior styling. The interior is modern, and you know, it's up to par with the competition. You get off-road tech on multiple trim packages, making it like a real true off-road SUV, not just one package being a crazy off-road SUV. And then on top of that, they give it some real power as an option, so that if you just want it to be like the off-road special, you can have like the lower power output. But if you want the higher power output so that you can actually drive it on road and not feel like it's super slow, then it does that as well. So like, I think that like, just like as an overall package, they've done a fantastic job. And that's kind of like my opinion on it. Obviously, when I review it, I'll be able to like actually touch things in person and see, you know, what's really cool and what's not on it, if that makes sense. And so, yeah, That's like the positive part. Now, obviously getting into the negative part, and I really don't have that much negative to say about it. So this is like me really having to nitpick, to be honest, for me to like find anything negative about it. So the first thing that I think is, it actually could be perceived as a positive thing, but I kind of see it as a little bit of a negative thing, is the fact that they're taking the Bronco name and putting it onto like a regular, like what I call a mommy mall crawler SUV. So the Bronco Sport, it's cool, right? You're gonna be able to buy like a little like mini Bronco, but at the same time, that's exactly what Chevy's done with the Trailblazer and with the Blazer name, is they've put it to these really pedestrian SUVs that just don't embody what a Blazer is. And so it's cool, and that's a BMW i8. Nice. 400 horsepower, really slow. Anyways, they've just ruined the name. And now Ford has released a really cool Bronco, which obviously like holds up the name, but at the same time, like, you could have like the fully decked out crazy off-road like Wild Track or first edition Bronco, and then someone else can have like a mommy mall crawler Bronco Sport. You'll be able to tell the difference, but they still have the same name. So that's a slight disappointment, but me personally, I don't care, but it does muddy the name a little bit. Now, the next thing that is kind of difficult with the Bronco, and this, again, this is like me really nitpicking because I'm completely okay with this, I know a lot of people aren't, is the fact that it doesn't offer a V8. So I'm okay with the V6 and twin turbo V6, all that kind of stuff. Or sorry, no, it only offers a turbocharged 4-cylinder and a twin turbo V6. I'm okay with that. I like both of those engines. I think that they're both going to be great for different reasons, like I said in the earlier part of this video, especially the V6 for the extra power. But I get it. It's not going to have the big V8 like it used to have. It's not going to have the nice V8 sounds. I get that that's like a huge negative for a lot of people. For me, I don't care, because the V6 is going to be easier to tune and all that kind of stuff. You'll get better fuel economy. But I can see how that's a negative. And other than that, like, it's really hard to nitpick on the Bronco. Like, some people will complain about the price, but if you actually look at the pricing with the Bronco, it's not that much more expensive than a Wrangler. It's like marginally, I think it's only like $1,000 maybe more expensive than a Wrangler. And I'll tell you right now, it's way more than $1,000 more car than a Wrangler. It just, like I said, with all the off-road options you get across different trim packages, and the exterior styling is so much more unique than the Wrangler. Even though it looks similar, it definitely looks like way cooler in my opinion, even though it has all of that. And by the way, that's not me, that's the person in front of me, just, you know, going 40 miles an hour, just saying. But like, I just think that they've just absolutely killed it. And so yeah, it's one of those things that's just really tough. And like I said, I can't really nitpick it too much. It's just a fantastic vehicle overall. Now let's get into the more fun part, I guess, is comparing it. And I've already kind of like made little comparisons throughout the video, but I kind of want to, I guess, elaborate on those just a little bit more. So first off, with the Jeep Wrangler, like I said, from a pricing standpoint, they're pretty similar. The Bronco's slightly more expensive, but it's not that much more expensive. So just to give you guys an idea, if you order a fully loaded Jeep Wrangler Rubicon with pretty much every option, you're gonna be in the low $60,000 range, like 62, maybe 63, somewhere around there. The first edition Bronco that I ordered, which is fully loaded, has every option, is about 63 with the 4-door. I think the 2-door is like 59,000. So again, the pricing is pretty similar. I think the Bronco, again, is about $1,000 more expensive than the Wrangler. So pricing, it's right in line with where it needs to be. Now, obviously the thing that it beats the Wrangler in is the powertrain, which I've already mentioned. It just has a powertrain that has more power than the Wrangler. Now, it doesn't have more torque than the Wrangler, because you can get an EcoDiesel Wrangler, which has over 400 pound-feet of torque. It's about 442 pound-feet, if I remember correctly. So the Wrangler still beats the Bronco in torque, but again, that engine's gonna be super easy to tune. And so I think people have Broncos with well over 400 horsepower and probably 500 pound-feet of torque, frankly, from that 2.7 liter V6, just easy. So just from like a power standpoint, really solid. And then obviously from the off-road standpoint, I just feel like it wins over the Wrangler, because you get multiple packages where you can get cool off-road tech, like the lockers and everything on it, whereas on the Wrangler, you can only get that on the Rubicon. And so it's cool that they give us off-road tech on multiple packages. And then the best thing, in my opinion, like this is like the best thing, is the fact that they let you have like a high-speed package with the Bronco. Because the Jeep Wrangler is really cool, and you can do like higher speed off-roading with it, but that's not really what it's meant for. Whereas a Bronco, and I kind of said this in my video about me buying one, is it's like a Raptor and a Wrangler mixed together, kind of. Because you can do the high-speed off-roading with certain packages on the Bronco, but then you can also do the rock crawling if you want. And the first edition combines both of those, which I think is really cool, because it kind of has like the hardcore off-road suspension, all that kind of. It's absolutely amazing. So you get both of those. So like it's just like more capable than the Wrangler in general, and it's about the same price again. So I just think overall it's just a much better value than the Wrangler. And then if you go to styling, the Wrangler looks cool. I'm not going to knock on the Wrangler styling. It's a really cool look. However, the Bronco just, I don't know, it just looks so much better. It looks so much more muscular. It looks so much more unique. Like, I'm sure that once I see, because it looks good in pictures, and so if it looks good in pictures, it's going to look even better in person. I'm sure once I'm able to actually see it in person, it's just going to have so much road presence. It's going to be absolutely crazy. And so I just think as like an overall package, it's just crazy. And I can tell you right now, my best guess is it is going to cut into Jeep Wrangler sales massively. There will still be people that buy Jeep Wranglers. There will still be people that buy Jeep Wranglers, for sure. However, I think it's going to cut into the sales enough that Jeep's going to have to do something crazy. Now, Jeep has announced that they might do a 6.4 Hemi in the Wrangler. I don't know how they're going to get that to pass fuel economy standards, to be honest. But they said that they're going to do it, and so we'll see if Jeep actually ends up doing it or not. With the Wrangler, 6.4 Hemi Wrangler from the factory, people already spend tons of money to do that, so it'd be cool if they actually end up doing it. We'll see if Jeep ends up doing it. I tried to post a funny video about it, and I had to take it down for weird reasons. If you saw the video, pretty cool. But yeah, that's just from the Wrangler comparison. And then I have heard other YouTubers, I've watched other YouTubers compare it to like the new Land Rover Defender and the G-Wagon. I don't really feel like it compares to the G-Wagon because the G-Wagon's way more expensive, and people that buy G-Wagons don't really take them off-road. There's a few that do, but that's like a mommy mall crawler SUV, and some of the G-Wagons don't even come with off-road tires from the factory. So yeah, I don't really think that's a good comparison. A G-Wagon's kind of like a rich, douchey vehicle. Sorry if you own one. There's nothing wrong with it, but like, it's not like, you don't like go, oh, I'm gonna buy a G-Wagon to off-road. Even though it's super capable, you buy a G-Wagon because you're like, I want everyone to know that I'm a baller. Like, seriously, they're cool vehicles, but that's kind of the stigma behind them. Now, the new Defender, I have heard a few YouTubers, especially Doug DeMuro, and I'm not knocking what he says, but he says that, oh, that's going to be way more luxurious than the Bronco. The Bronco's going to be not as well put together. He's kind of a Range Rover, Land Rover fanboy, which is okay. I think the Bronco's still going to be a better overall vehicle compared to the Defender. Yes, the Defender has a Land Rover luxury brand, but again, when you're spending that kind of money that costs, the like comfortability you're going to have with off-roading, it's going to be very low. You're not really going to want to off-road it because it's so expensive. And is it going to be more smooth on road? I can't tell you, right? I have to drive them both on road. However, I have a Raptor right now, and I've driven plenty of Range Rovers because you guys have seen the reviews I've done on them. And my Raptor's not the smoothest vehicle, but this is pretty dang smooth. Sorry, I think this person knew I was filming because they started making like funny gestures in front of my truck. Completely lost my train of thought, so going back. Like I was saying with the Defender and with my Raptor, my overall experience with it, like this truck drives really smooth. It is not as smooth as like a Ram 1500. No, it's not quite as smooth as like a Range Rover, but it's really smooth. So I know that Ford has the ability to build like a really smooth on-road vehicle. And I know the argument can be said that, well, you can take the roof off, you can take the doors off. So because of that, it's going to be rattly and all that kind of stuff. Maybe, but again, I don't think it's going to be that bad. I still think it's going to be like a pretty comfortable ride. And so where I really see the standing is, I think the Defender's cool. I just don't think it's going to really stand the test of time like this new Bronco will. I think that the Bronco, like, ultimately at the end of the day, it's going to be way more popular, obviously, because it's a lot less money. I mean, that's a given. Just the money factor alone is going to, you know, open it up to a lot more people. But I just think as like an overall all-around vehicle, it's just way better. And I just don't think that there's much to compare to. I know that people might think that I'm a Ford fanboy because I have a Raptor now. I'm not like particular to any brand. I don't have like any brand that I hold up above any other. I just like cool cars. Okay, so if a brand makes a cool car, I don't go, oh, I'm a fanboy of that brand now and everything that brand makes is great, because, for example, I think that Ram makes a really good truck. That's a really good luxury truck. But then they're also, you know, associated with Dodge, and Dodge makes the Dodge Journey, which is one of the worst cars ever, frankly. So, like, again, I'm not like a huge, like, brand fanboy. However, I think the Bronco, just like as an overall package, from like a daily driver perspective, from an off-road perspective, I just don't think there's going to be anything to compare it to. And I think it's definitely going to make Jeep for sure have to change some things. And yeah, I mean, the other manufacturers, they're kind of in completely different markets, but maybe other people are going to start seeing the light, and maybe we'll get like a real Blazer or Trailblazer from Chevy. Maybe, probably not, but maybe. And I'm gonna keep it at that because I feel like this video is getting a little bit too long. If you're stopping for the first time, please subscribe, comment down below what you think. And if you guys want me to make more videos about cars, like new cars that come out before I review them, let me know and I can make more videos like this. If you don't like this style of video, then I just won't make them. Simple? Okay, I'll see you guys.